Welcome to the Steve Wilmot Show with the Chamonix Redskins head coach Steve Wilmot. I'm Sean Lerman. The Redskins 1-0 on the season after a 28-20 win over Roman Catholic on Friday. Getting set now to take on Penridge this coming Friday, 7 o'clock. You can watch the game live at WBCB1490.com. Coach, first one of the season here with the Steve Wilmot Show. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
So as we get set and go into this week, we'll talk a little bit about last week to start, although it feels already so far away with getting into Friday now. 20-20 win over Roman Catholic. Certainly, I think there was a little minor controversy at the end, but still an 8-point victory. A great way to start off the season against a Roman Catholic team that maybe surprising to some was pretty good.
They didn't surprise me that they were good. I mean, we watched their first scrimmage. We knew they had speed, but the one thing that really impressed me about Roman was their line play. I thought their line was pretty sharp, especially their defensive line. Me being an offensive line coach, watching our guys take them on, I thought they were pretty strong up front. We didn't run the ball as effectively as we wanted to. I think part of it was because they were good. At the end, Will ripped off a long one. But they held our running game in check. Mason had a nice day passing the ball. He had a couple of receivers that had hot hands with Zach Treadway and Mike Garlick. And then Will Dogba had two really special catches for touchdowns.
Yeah, Will Dogba kind of filled out the stat sheet in quite a few different ways. He ended up with about 100 rushing yards, had the 2 touchdown catches. Talk about his overall performance in all facets.
One of the things that we really wanted to work on with Will in the offseason was catching the ball out of the backfield. Last year he was okay, struggled at times doing it, but he made just 2 special catches, catching the ball out of the backfield. Running wise, I can't really blame him. Obviously I'll always put the blame on the offensive line, but again, they had 3 real good talented kids up front, and we were just having a tough time moving them. He did rip off those long runs at the end to kind of help his statistics a little bit. But Will runs hard every day. If holes are there, he's going to get it.
Now, going into this season, offensive line, 3 returning members, a couple of new guys on the offensive line. How did everything mesh, do you think? I know you probably want to see a little more, but how do you feel like everything started to come together?
Okay. We kept Mason upright, which is a positive thing. Running wise, again, I'd like to establish a more effective run game. We right now, at this point in the season, we only really have one H-back, fullback type of guy, and he's a full-time defensive guy. So we're not trying to overload him. So we're in some one-back sets, and it just comes down to the line, just executing. They're doing okay. I think if you rewind week 1 from last year, it's a process, and it's not going to happen overnight. With the preseason being 1 week shorter than it was last year, it's just going to take a little bit of time. It's just going to take a little time to come together.
You mentioned some of the receivers with hot hands for Mason Jones, and one of those guys was Mike Garlick, as you said. Had an incredible game offensively and defensively with almost 100 receiving yards, and then on the other side of the ball, 8 tackles, an interception, 3 pass deflections. What a great performance from someone really getting his first real opportunity in there.
Yeah, Mike Garlick really won his job on our team in the offseason. It wasn't a matter of is Mike Garlick going to play? It's just kind of where is Mike Garlick going to play? Our slot receiver type position is a perfect job for him, and he shares it with Joel Stills, who I'm sure you'll be hearing about more as the season goes on. But there's a lot of motioning and a lot of different things. It's a very dynamic position, and he's a high motor kid, and we're excited about him playing that position. And yeah, he did make some plays, and to tell you the truth, I really expect him to make plays every week.
And how about on the defensive side of the ball?
Defense, he was where he was supposed to be when he was supposed to be there, and that's what it comes down to. That's what our defense is predicated on: making your reads and doing what you're supposed to do, and he did that. again, for the second time, he's a high motor guy. He's the hustle's not gonna, that's never gonna be in question. He's always gonna hustle. He's always gonna be there. It's just a matter of, and again, it's his first game. It's one less week in the preseason this year, and you're just gonna see Mike just continue to improve.
Anything else that stood out to you from week one on either side of the ball, special teams, anything?
Our secondary play I thought was pretty sharp. They had some very talented receivers, and I think our three secondary guys with Joel Stills and Jacob Gordon and Zach Treadway, I thought they did a nice job running with their receivers. There was one real special play. Joel Stills is a very talented kid, and the kid kind of got behind Joel a little bit, and you just saw Joel close, as far as his closing speed, closed, and he batted the ball down and prevented a really long play, which would really flip the game. I feel really comfortable. I think I said this in the preseason that our secondary, and the thing about our secondary is we have some guys behind that are kind of waiting in the wings too. So I'm excited about our defensive secondary.
All right, this is the Steve Wilmot Show. The Chamonix Redskins head coach Steve Wilmot. I'm Sean Lerman, brought to you by Aria Health and Faulkner Buick GMC Cadillac, and we'll be right back after this.
Sandy's Beef and Ale has been serving famous hand-carved roast beef sandwiches since 1967. Sandy's Beef and Ale is located in the Woodburn Square Shopping Center next to the Oxford Valley Mall. Stop in anytime for not only the roast beef sandwiches, but also the patty, the tailgater, and the Cuban. Family and friends have been coming to Sandy's Beef and Ale since 1967. 2028 Old Lincoln Highway, the home of the hand-carved sandwich.
ER Express is the newest online reservation system for patients in Bucks County with non-life-threatening illnesses or conditions to reserve a time online to be treated at ARIA's fast care, urgent care, or emergency departments. ER Express streamlines evaluations so patients are treated more quickly, and best of all, it holds your reservation while you're in the comfort of your own home. Please remember, patients who experience major injuries and traumas should always go immediately to the emergency department. Reserve your spot online now with ER Express. Visit ariahealth.org/ER-Express. That's ariahealth.org/ER-Express.
If you are looking for a new car, where do you go? Faulkner Auto Group at 4427 Street Road in Trevose is where to go. For the best deals in Bucks County for all of your new or pre-owned cars, trucks, or SUVs, go to Faulkner Auto Group. It is always Faulkner to be sure. You can also always go to www.faulknerautogroup.com. Just remember, this year it's Faulkner Auto Group for your new car or truck. 4427 Street Road in Trevose to be sure. Faulkner Auto Group, 215-364-7720. Faulkner Auto Group, a proud supporter of Neshaminy High School football.
Princeton University football is back, starting on Saturday, September 17th, when the Tigers take on Lafayette at 5 p.m. at beautiful Princeton Stadium. It's also fireworks night, so bring the whole family for a day of fun at one of the nation's most beautiful on-campus football stadiums. The Tigers return both of their quarterbacks and have several returning defensive players. Single game tickets are just $10, and season tickets for all 5 home games just $40. This year, the Tigers' home schedule includes rivals Penn and Harvard, plus Brown and Cornell, and the opener on September 17th at 5 p.m. is against Lafayette, followed by fireworks night. To order and for more ticket information, go to GoPrincetonTigers.com. That's GoPrincetonTigers.com.
Welcome back to the Steve Wilmot Show. The Chamonix Redskins head coach Steve Wilmot. I'm Sean Lerman. The show brought to you by Faulkner Buick GMC Cadillac and Aria Health here on WBCB1490.com. As we go into Friday, Neshaminy getting set to travel to Penridge for a really, really big early season test. 7 o'clock. You can watch it live on WBCB1490.com. We'll have all the action with pregame coverage starting at 6:45 p.m. Coach, certainly not an easy test to get moving here these first couple of weeks, and Penridge, no different than Roman Catholic. This is a really good game, I think, that we have ahead of us.
Yeah, when we were kind of putting our preseason schedule together, we knew we had Downingtown West locked in. We were kind of looking for a first game. We still didn't have Roman in place, and then I'm not sure who reached out to who, But the Chamonix Penridge just seemed like a good fit. I believe in testing yourself, getting the best quality opponent that you can going into the season. And I have a lot of respect for the Penridge program. You look at their roster; they're 100 strong. The last 2 years they beat us, unfortunately. So, they're a public school just like we're a public school. They get their kids from their middle schools, we get our kids from our middle schools, and they're a strong program. And I hope to think that we're a strong program, and it just seemed like a good fit for us to play each other.
The last couple of years, Penridge has had a very strong ground game. That they've had multiple backs that can run the ball. Is that something you're seeing as you prepare for the game again this year?
Yeah, and they have a very fast quarterback to complement their running game. So you're going to see some runs from him. He had a bunch of long runs against Norristown. I think he might have had 3 touchdowns on just one play. One play just kind of opens up for him. But yeah, Penridge line plays usually is strong. They have punch they have 2 different H-backs they bring in. They have punch at the point of attack. And yeah, they're gonna try to run the ball. They're gonna try to run the speed sweeps. Then they're gonna try to, hit it right up the middle. So it's kind of a little bit of a deception offense, a little bit similar to kind of the stuff that we do, but it's in their own little brand that they have.
And they'll go with, I think, multiple backs in the backfield at the same time, some misdirection type stuff. How do you get the Chamonix guys ready for that?
It just comes down to something I probably talked about earlier, is just our defensive guys just reading their keys and just doing their job. If they got unfocused on too much stuff, then they're going to be lost out there. If they just focus in on what our defensive coaches have been, harping on all week, just read your keys, show up when you're supposed to show up. I'm hoping that we're going to do okay.
Penridge now on the defensive side of the ball, they've got some great players there as well. They're not the kind of team I don't think that wants to win games 45 to 43. They'd rather keep it in the 20s, and so you'll be having a pretty good test against their defense as well. Talk about their base set, things that you expect to see.
Their base set, it's a triple stack. It's like a 3-5 type of defense, but very rarely, maybe on a 3rd and long, they line up in that 3-5. They are definitely a pressure defense. They bring 6, sometimes even 7 players on any given play, and we're going to have a tough task this week on keeping Mason upright. It's definitely a pressure. You'll see it on Friday night. It's definitely a pressure defense philosophy.
All right, Coach. Well, so getting set for Penridge, going to be a really fun game, I think, for a lot of the fans who are looking forward to this early season test. So before we get going here, it's the first day of school as we record this. Anything for the school year you're sort of looking forward to? I know you've been doing this for a while. It's probably an old hat for you now, but
this is I guess my 5th year here teaching at the high school. It's always it's funny because the first day of school the kids come in, they don't say much, but 3 weeks later, you can't, which is great. I love when kids talk. I don't like when the classroom's like too quiet. It's always fun, especially this year I have 2 9th grade classes, so those kids are nice and quiet to start the year, but as the year goes on, their personalities emerge, and you get to know them, and that's what I enjoy. I really enjoy, just like I enjoy getting to know our football players. I really enjoy getting to know the students that I teach, and what makes them tick, and all the little intricacies, because to me that's what's fun. And then of course, instilling a little education into them, that's fun too.
All right, Coach, thank you very much. This has been the Steve Wilmot Show with the Chamonix Redskins head coach Steve Wilmot. I'm Sean Lerman, brought to you by RA Health and Faulkner Buick GMC Cadillac. We'll see you on Friday night, 7 o'clock at Penridge on WBCB1490.com.